Hello everyone and welcome to another great stream here in Toko's MTG. Today we are doing the banned and restricted announcement reaction. In 40 minutes they should unleash the new banned and restricted list. They say that there are gonna be changes. They said mainly in Commander. For Commander, I don't know. People say that they are gonna change things on ban or ban cards. I have no idea about that. They're probably making the change of the hybrid mana that you can use hybrid mana cards if your commander is not of that card. Like you can play Kitchen Finks in a deck with a green commander with, I don't know, Lumbra, because the card is green, so they're probably changing that, but I don't know about Commander. But I do know about other formats, and my guess is they're going to do, if they do something, it's probably going to be in Legacy and Modern, in the constructed part. I'm gonna start with Legacy. I don't know if they are gonna ban something or not. It's always very hard to know. They banned cards lately in the November 10th announcement, but we see that the two most played decks in Legacy is Dimir Tempo and Upsol spells, while in Legacy the most played creatures are Tamiyo, Bowmasters, and Murktide. Also just the whole Dimir Tempo gang. And then if they ban something, I guess it's probably Tamiyo. Tamiyo is a very strong card in the format, and it's like every other card of that kind that gets into the Tempo shell, like always Band-Aids. And this card is very similar to cards like Ragavan, Droughthorde Arcanist, or other cards that were banned in those decks in the past. Tamiyo creates a situation where if you get to flip it thanks to Brainstorm on turn 2, you can win 2 turns earlier with the ultimate than with a Delver, for example. It makes that attacking with creatures not that cool, that this card is not that great because they can always get back the card you discarded if, for example, you discard a Force of Will. And it creates a lot of advantage and some weird situation where you don't want to kill Tamiyo because the cold respond with Brainstorm, and then if you do not attack it with Tamiyo, it gets clues, and in the long game having 3-4 clues will bury you in card advantage. So that's a card that could get the X. Probably there is no changes in Legacy. The other cards that could be banned, I guess, is Undercity Informer and Balustrade Spy. Those cards, I think you have to ban both in this shell, because if you only ban one of the two, there are these other cards, Destroyed Evidence and Liverly Dirge, that do almost the same for 1 more mana. This case is for 5 mana, you deck yourself by destroying your own land, and in the second case, you might entomb the other one and bring it back. So it's almost the same to not ban both. So if you really want to get rid of the turn 1 combo deck, you have to ban both of them. So my bets, if I will have to bet on some changes, is Tamiyo and the 2 Upsal spells creatures gone. We will see. That's in half hour. Then Modern. They did say that they were gonna touch something out of the Modern Amulet deck in the last update. Not because the deck is strong, which is very strong, but out of logistic issues. They did not want to make any changes last time because the RC season was running, and changing cards would hurt the preparation of players. But they say that the Aftermath Analyst loop makes the deck go to time far too often, and you see a lot of tournaments where the Amulet Titan player, even an expert Amulet Titan player, is like maybe Dom Harvey, but the regular Amulet Titan player will be on time, while the person who picks the deck up because it's good in X metagame, they just time out very often. And then it's like the Pauper X, also the old Modern X, or the Pauper High Tide deck. Then if you're going to lose, you will always gonna try to go for the combo, even if you cannot, and that will drag the games quite long. Here, there are some choke points on one card to ban, because you can say, yeah, we are gonna ban Aftermath Analyst, and that's it. But if you ban Analyst, you just play Lumbra, and it does the same. It's 6 mana, 6 mana. In this case, instead, Ginkgo biloba. That's a basket plant. So if you banned Analyst, you have Lumbra. So instead of comboing with Lumbra, so with Analyst and the Shifting Woodland, you will have to combo with Lumbra and Mirror Pool, which is almost the same, so it does not matter much. And you already play Mirror Pool. Then there are people who say you could ban Mirror Pool, then you just combo with Miralish Raha, Mirror Lake, or whatever it is. Or whatever it is, this card. It's the same as Mirror Pool, just for blue and green mana, so you just have to take a bit more steps. Then there are other two options as a one-card combo. You can ban Lotus Field or Scapeshift. Both cards allow you to combo, so banning one of them can stop the combo in some ways, maybe. So these two cards is another option they had. And the last one is finally getting the Amulet of Vigor, so you don't have the crazy turn 2 kills and double Amulet draws and Ursa Saga combos and every time having an Amulet. And they can just play a more fair deck with Wandering Mistral or Spelunken. So for me, banning those 4 cards, the Analyst, Lumbra, Pool, or Lake, is not what it should go. It probably has to go to nerf the deck and stop the loop into Amulet, Lotus Field, or Scapeshift. So those are the 3 cards that I think should be targeted if you want to stop the Amulet. Then finally, out of Modern Energy, with this, the other tier 1 deck in the format, like we have seen that Modern Energy since the release of Modern Horizon 3, even when Nadu was there, is the best deck in Modern. Maybe not every week of the month, but almost always. So you have 3 main combos: the Flage plus Arena of Glory combo, the Ocelot Guide plus Ocelot Pride plus Guide of Souls combo, and the Ajani plus Bombardment combo. Those 3 combos are the glue to the deck and make it very, very strong to attack in different axes. So I would like to see Guide of Souls banned. This card helps you raise almost every deck because of life gain, makes you creatures fly, makes your deck Pyroclast proof because you just grow anything and you cannot kill it with a sweeper anymore, and makes that any creature will get in the late game to a 3-4 menace card. So probably I will ban Guide of Souls, but I would be happy with probably banning any of those 6 cards. That makes the deck very strong. Arena of Glory is a very disgusting card in general. It's very strong when it's good, and it has also no drawback. Flage is very, very strong. We all know how Flage is the endgame queen, and if Flage is here, why is not Uro? Uro is weaker than Flage. Maybe a bit more boring, but I will just set those 2 elementals to the ban zone. And Ocelot Pride is a card, I think it's fine. I will not ban Ocelot Pride. I will ban Guide of Souls. Ocelot Pride, I think, is a very decent card. And finally, the Ajani plus Bombardment combo. Maybe banning... If I could ban something, it would be one of each combo, but that's probably too many cards. But probably Bombardment plus Guide of Souls would be a good pick if you want to nerf the Boros deck. But I don't know. This is literally a lottery. So maybe they don't ban anything. Maybe we just get no changes today. And I guess in the other formats, they are mostly fine. So no one plays Pioneer, so no one cares. Pauper is fine. They ban some cards, and I think the format is in a nice position. It's true that Blue Terror and the red decks are always very strong, but I think it's almost fine. The actual factual Terror card is sometimes very strong. Like dropping turn 3 double Terror is but yeah. Then we have Vintage. Vintage is in a cool moment. I still dislike Lurus as a card that doesn't let you play other cards, but I think Vintage is in a very good position. So Pre-Modern, they don't do anything about Pre-Modern. Core is still in Pioneer. I don't know about Pioneer. I'm literally out of info in Pioneer. Yeah, Core Steel Cutter is a strong card, but I cannot say anything because I don't know about that. And then in Commander, bans, unbans, rule changes. doesn't really matter. Here we are for the announcement live. So standard, no change. Pioneer, no change. Modern, no change. Legacy, no change. Vintage, no change. Pauper, no change. Alchemy, a lot of cards. Historic, a lot of cards. Timeless, Necropotence is restricted. Brawl. Okay, so yeah, there was pretty good chances that no bans. We saw changes in every format. We also saw a shift in the cadence of these announcements. It was clear to us that we didn't have enough chances to act when a format needed maintenance by way of its banned list. It's always our goal to make Magic as fun as possible and tend to our formats are needed. And those opportunities this year will allow us to focus on upholding that goal. Okay, we want players to feel confident whenever they acquire cards to play in each format, that they will be able to play and with them and have a good time, finding the balance between regular update timing and banned lists and avoiding the looming specter of potential bans is a thug line to toe. Yeah, it's always, too many ban lists or not that many ban lists is always a problem. It's hard to balance. We are grateful for the community's patience as we work towards that goal. Tomorrow's on Magic, they will update. I don't know about standard. Standard is healthy, blah, blah, blah. Here's Patchy. Pioneer, no one cares about Pioneer. Modern rules. I'm naturally a tad biased, but Modern looks like it's in a great spot. To recap the last couple of months, we saw a 7-deck top 8 at Pro Tour Age of Eternity last year. The archetype that ended up winning the event, Tameshi Belcher, has seen a fall in population and win rate in the time since then as the format adjusted. Conversely, Boros Energy went into that event with a massive target on its back and had an extremely modest win rate as a result. Yeah, that's many months ago. This ended up carrying into the format set of regional championships to an extent. But the deck picked up some steam towards the end of the season. During that season, there was also a breakout deck that took the world by storm. Jeskai Blink. Yeah, Jeskai Blink appeared. In the month since the end of Modern Season Regional Championships, Boros Energy has seen an uptick in popularity on the back of competitive success. While Jeskai Blink has gone down a bit in its metagame share, we still see a number of mainstays in the environment, each getting a week or two in the sun on Magic Online before the metagame adjusts and something else takes its place as the top dog of the format. In our ace, this is a sign of a healthy metagame with Boros Energy on the top, with the ability to self-correct and allow for a wide array of play patterns and strategies with which players can find success. Even more exciting still is that players are finding success homes for new cards like Washington, Librarian, Formidable Speaker, and others. Despite Modern having a fairly stable metagame, at this point, Modern looks like it's in a happy place of an established metagame with a steady dish of fresh content from new releases, and we are excited to watch the format continue to develop. Okay, this did not solve the issue about Amulet Titan. If the deck continues to disproportionately impact runtimes at competitive events, we might begin exploring actions to take. There have just been no events. That means that the deck is the same, but that's something. So Legacy has seen some big changes in the last few months. Last time we talked about the format, the Reanimator was on a generational run of dominance in Legacy, and we made the difficult decision to take action against Entomb. That was a good day, to bring it down a peg. In the same announcement, we removed not the Winged Wisdom, rest in peace, from the format to try and give a fire creature strategies a bit more room to breathe in the format. In the time since, things have been moving quite a bit to acknowledge the largest deck in the metagame. Underground Sea, it's still the top dog. Yeah, no surprise. So just Dimir Tempo, even before the banning of Entomb, versions of Dimir combined the various blue favorites in Ponder, Brains, and Fossil Days with some of the strongest standalone threats to protect Intamio, Inquisitive Student, Oathif Bowmaster, or Kaito Bane of Nightmares. The deck plays out in a sort of protect the queen strategy that, like any tempo deck, that develops one or two threats and uses the rest of its resources to take over the game, while those permanents put the game out of reach for the opponent. Like always, the tempo decks have worked. In this case, you really protect the queen. The queen is named Tamiyo. We have certainly taken notice of the fact that this deck is public enemy number 1 coming out the bans, but at this point we believe its win rate, metagame share, and the play pattern it encourages are all appropriate for Legacy. Yeah, makes sense. Not happy, but makes sense. Dimmer tempo isn't the entire story of what changed in the format. In the last few months, however, we are seeing surges in play from lands, death and taxes, blue basset affinity, and favorite gray of cradle decks, cradle control, at a rate that's heartening. We are optimistic about the direction that Legacy is heading at this point, and some to see the recent upticks in archetype diversity continue to pan out in the oncoming months. Vintage, we're happy with the shape of Vintage metagame on the other side of the North American Eternal Weekend, and things have continued to look good, despite lures of the Dean Den being the first card seen in a large portion of decks. There's enough archetype diversity among lure cells for it to feel like a healthy part of Vintage. A prime example of this diversity can be seen in the finals of the ASEAN Vintage Championship at their Eternal Weekend. They played Luros de Mill Control and Doomsday with Luros and things. No change in Pauper. We have been monitoring closely in the wake of High Tide's departure. We have been keeping an eye on decks like red decks with Sneaky Snacker and Battles Trade Spy variants, and no mono blue terror. These decks continue to do well, though there are plenty of counters to the strategy. So there are Sneaky Snacker, Spy, and Terror decks that are strong, but not strong enough to do anything. This strategy was successful, does not have the presence of success level for a band at this point, but this success continues growing. It could necessitate a ban at some point. We will keep watching, blah blah blah. Okay, is there a commander ban today? Timeless brow, yeah. What a useless announcement. No commander changes. This is as bad as the Super Bowl. They said they were gonna change something. They didn't mention commander, so it has to be another announcement somewhere. So there has to be a Yeah, Dario, I have seen the picture, but I want the link. So yeah, I've seen the picture of Commander. So this is the Commander announcement. Beorith is unbanned, Lutri the Spellcher is unbanned, but remains banned as a companion. As a companion. I don't know what this means. You cannot use it as a... okay, you can use it as a commander or as a card in your deck, but not as a companion. And that's it. But they didn't change anything else. They did not change rulings. Let's see. Okay. Commander. Okay. Hello, this is Gavin. They unbanned Beorith because the card is nothing. They unbanned this, but they didn't unban Alceo. Thanks for the raid. So Sundering Titan was banned at the time where you will play it, find a way to repeatedly blink it, say for example Data Navigator, and ruin every else mana base with a growth. Thanks for the follow. Additional Sundering Titan is in a kind of sunny spot because the bracket system set up some nice guidelines against land Daniel. It will be a game changer, limiting it from appearing in bracket 2 and below. This card can be unfound. So okay, they decide not to touch it. The same, I guess, with Iona. The same with Griselbrand. No bans on Thassa's Oracle of Ristic Study. That they were watching those cards, but they are not banning this. Thassa's Oracle seems mostly enjoyable. I think the Thassa's Oracle combo is very unfun in Commander. I don't play Commander, but from the outside, it seems like a bit too much. So it doesn't show up in the high outside of the highest power levels. Okay. Ristic Study is, of course, very powerful and a nuisance for many, especially in competitive Commander. But also a card many people love. Who loves Ristic Study? I have never seen a comment about someone not hating Ristic Study. I don't see, oh, I wake up and I think, how fun is to have a Ristic Study, 3 Ristic Studies in play and have to play 1 mana for everything. The bar to ban a card in Commander is quite tight, and I wouldn't expect any actions to be taken if things remain on the current trajectory. With that said, we'll continue watching Ristic Study. Okay, so Commander panel. Okay, yeah, not much. So finally, we see no change in any competitive paper formats, some in arena formats, but yeah, that's it. If you like the video, just like and subscribe.